Okay, so after the user sent a /hi get request from the browser, and the HTTP request will send to our Tomcat server, and the Tomcat server need to find which registered servlet is used to handle this request. Okay, and then the Tomcat will assign a new thread to handle this request. By handling this thread, okay, so the servlet need parameters of the user's request information, right? Like, what's your body, right? And what is your HTTP method? What is all the different kind of input? So for the servlet, we have this method called do get, do post, and do delete, and do all the different kind of method I already see last time. Okay, we have a delete, head, get, options, post, put, trace. Okay, all those methods are predefined, and we have a do get, do post, do delete, all those do methods to handle different kind of HTTP method. So we also have a centralized method that is used to assign the request to all different kind of uh, do methods, right? Like do get. So this method is called service. You can see the service, it takes those two parameters. One is HTTP servlet request, one is HTTP servlet response. Those two are representing the request and the response, okay, of HTTP protocol. So this is just a Java E specification for those two objects, okay. And the service method is actually already well developed. It's just to check if it's a get method, right? If the method request from the HTTP servlet request, if the method is a get, then we gonna call do get. Okay, of course here it has a cache check, so it has an extra check for there if you want to use cache or not. But for to post to rest of the method, right? So let's see, if the method is a post, then it will directly call do post. So it's well implemented. All we need to rewrite is the do get method. Okay, so here let's just override the do get method here. Okay, this do get also takes those two parameters. Who gonna put those two parameters? Okay, or when the call do get, Tomcat will do that. Okay, Tomcat's work is to pass the request to this method. Okay, and we don't have to create those two objects because we need a parser, right? Because the user sends this kind of like string, like text format to the server. The server need to convert this whole thing, okay, into a Java object, and that's Tomcat's work. And also Tomcat will use a new thread to call this doGet. Okay, so we don't need a super doGet because super doGet will return us 405. Okay, we just need to write something to the response. Okay, so response, and we can get a writer, and then we can write some content. Let's see, I want a very strong tag. Okay, so I need a strong tag. Actually, it's a lowercase s, and then I need to say like welcome. Okay, so this is our server, and then we run it. So when you visit /hi, then the server will respond back strong welcome, and it's an HTML tag. Okay, and you see now we have this strong welcome, but it's not strong, right? It's just like a pure text. We need to apply those tags. Why? It is because here in the response header, we didn't tell the browser what kind of format it is. So we need to somehow set the response, okay, and then set the content type, okay, to HTML. Okay, so like a text HTML. This kind of text. So then by setting this header in the response, we tell the browser, right? When we send this response back to the browser, tell the browser that this is HTML code. So the browser will then render this strong tag. Okay, so now if we refresh, and then now it's become to a welcome. Okay, so then this is the basic usage of HTTP request and HTTP response. And of course, whatever you can get from the request, you can get it from this object, right? Like header, like the body, like the input parameters, cookies, HTTP method, HTTP protocol version. Okay, so everything can be get from the request. And also, if you want to send back anything to the response, right? Just like last time we saw, in the response we have a status code, we have a header, we have a body, everything that we can customize using this object. Okay, so now everything is done by Tomcat to parse it to create the HTTP request response. But as a developer, we just need to manipulate those two objects. Okay, so using HTTP like Servlet APIs. Okay, so you can just write a very complicated content into this here, and so that you can make your page very complicated. But it's not convenient at all. So that's why we have a JSP nowadays. We have RESTful Web Services, Angular, React front end frameworks. So, but you have to know this is going to be the fundamental of Tomcat, Servlet, Spring MVC, a lot of all the frameworks. So, but we don't have to write it by ourselves. Okay, that's it. Thank you.